Hello and welcome to this channel. I hope you all are doing good. This session is regarding the current affairs of 26th of August. Let's start the session. First news we have about National Curriculum Framework. So it is revised NCF. So let's get to know about it. So this report was developed by a 13 members steering committee led by former ISRO chief K. Kasturi Rangan. This is in line with the vision of the National Education Policy 2020 to promote teaching and learning in Indian languages. NCF is one of the key components of National Education Policy 2020 that enables and energizes transformation informed by its aims, principles, and approach. So let's get to know about National Education Policy. It has been more than 3 decades since the publication of the previous National Education Policy on Education in 1986. A lot has transformed this period. Significant changes in democracy and in educational access and attainments, an information revolution, the expansion of knowledge, particularly in domains such as cognitive neuroscience, computer science, deep learning, and artificial intelligence, global economic and health shocks, and challenges of climate change and environmental degradation. NEP 2020 aims to respond positively to these changes and makes clear recommendations for education at all levels, starting with education for children of age 3 to higher education. National Education Policy 2020 called for complete transformation of India's schooling system to make it of the highest quality for all students, equitable, and to serve the needs and aspirations of the country and its people today and for the future. So, what is the vision of National Curriculum Framework? It is of the utmost importance for all our children of today and of tomorrow and for the future of India to develop an educationally robust and aspirational yet practically implementable NCF as well as SCFs that will ensure that all students, no matter their circumstances of birth or background, have the best possible education with complete support from the system. What are the thrust areas of National Curriculum Framework? First, we have art and physical education. Art and physical education are given their due emphasis in NCF. Aim of art education is to promote joy in exploring and creating artworks, develop imagination and creativity, and develop empathy and sensitivity and a sense of belonging to our culture. Aim of physical education is to promote love for physical activity and sports, develop capacities for skillful engagement in physical activity and sports, and develop resilience, empathy, and cooperation. Next, we have vocational education. A school education should prepare students not just to understand the world around them but also to do productive work. These capacities for work would enable students to be productive members of their households as well as participants in the economy. Through the curriculum area of vocational education, students would be exposed to and develop basic skill in three forms of work: work with life forms, work with machines and materials, and work in human services. Next, environmental education. So one of the biggest challenge in the 21st century is the conservation of the natural environment. What is the main aim of environmental education? Create a strong foundation of environmental literacy, which includes understanding the interlinkages between ecological, social, economic, and political factors. Develop a more compassionate attitude towards the natural environment, drawing upon teachings from ancient Indian traditions and practices, the Indian constitution, as well as scientific research on the effects of modern human activity on the environment. Next is language education. So this curriculum aims at develop linguistic proficiency for academic use in three languages. At least one language native to India will be offered as an option for the medium of instruction to all students up to grade 12. The language in which literacy is first learnt in school should be a language that is most familiar to the student. Usually, this is the mother tongue of the student or the language that is prevalently used in the neighborhood. 11 and 12, at least two languages will be studied, at least one of which is a language native to India, In this phase, students have freedom to choose the remaining 4 or 5 subjects from different streams like commerce, science, humanities. So it leaves ample room for interdisciplinarity. Example, a student may pick English and Sanskrit as a language for example, and study history, journalism, mathematics, and gardening alongside. Next, we have mathematical education. Mathematical education has never been more important globally for students and for society. The close contact between mathematics and artificial intelligence, machine learning and data science, climate modeling, infrastructure development, and the numerous other related scientific issues faced by India and all nations today makes mathematics a particular crucial area of school education. Mathematics has an extremely rich history in India, spanning thousands of years from Vedic times to modern era. By learning about the development of mathematics in India, as well throughout the world, a rootedness in India can be enhanced along with a more general appreciation of the history of mathematics and of remarkable evolution and development of mathematical concepts through time and India's critical role in these developments. Next, we have science education. Science education gives equal emphasis to acquire capacities for scientific inquiry and conceptual understanding of theories, laws, principles in science. Through these capacities and concepts, students are expected to develop a scientific temperament and how the physical nature world functions. Last is social science education. The purpose of social science education is to help students learn about the society in which they live. Example, how members of their society live, interact, behave, eat, speak, express themselves through art, the traditions they follow, what they wear, and their aspirations. So this was all about NCF. Next we have a Smart Cities contest. So ISAC India Smart City Award contest is organized under the Smart Cities Mission, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This is one of the important activities initiated under the mission where pioneering cities strategies, projects and are recognized to award the exemplary performance, enable peer-to-peer learning and disseminate best practices. In the past, the ISAC has witnessed 3 editions in 2018, 19 and 2020. Fourth edition of the ISAC was launched in April 2022 during the Smart Cities Smart Urbanization event in Surat. So here MP has been chosen as a top state for exemplary performance in the Smart Cities mission. Surat and Agra are the second and third place winners among cities, while Tamil Nadu is the second in the state category, followed by Rajasthan and UP. Next news we have about decline in numbers in most bird species in the country. The Kochi, a new report on the status of birds in the country tells a grim story. The State of India's Bird 2023 released on August 25 finds that while a few bird species like the Indian peafowl, that is basically peacock, are thriving in India, many are in decline. The report based on 30 million observations contributed by 3,000 bird watchers across the country. India is home to more than 1,350 bird species. Some are endemic. They are restricted to specific areas such as biodiversity hotspots and are found nowhere else in the world. White-bellied blue flycatcher are small songbirds that you can spot only in the western Ghats of South India. Some are habitat specialists. They are found only in some habitats in the country. So we can see the overall decline of the 3,338 species that had enough data to assess our long-term trends. 60% of the species showed long-term declines. Vultures were nearly driven to extinction by consuming carcasses contaminated with diclofenac. One of the most prolific birds in India, their numbers had dropped to near zero in the 1900s, early 2000s. Raptors are one of the most affected species due to agrochemicals. This report says. So this was all about for the current affairs session. Thank you. Stay tuned.